Feedback. Feedback.
Hi, this is Theo Broughton.
And I am Thabiti Mpinga.
Inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for Feedback,
A positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you.
Feedback. Feedback. Feedback.
And it is cold this morning. We knew it was coming, and now it is here. Even though it's still October, and we are on this roller coaster ride of the beanie. Yesterday, I was out. Had no need for an overcoat, if you will. I just had on my suit, and it was fine. But today, oh no, it's not the same. But it rained earlier, but it's fine now. So if you have to go out to pick up a few things or take care of a few things, you might want to do it now. And it's supposed to be raining later on, and I know that we have to have and will have rain, but you don't necessarily want to walk in it, particularly with a temperature like this, you know. So there are so many things that are going on, Thabiti. Man, in the world, okay, Putin is still threatening and carrying out some of his threats, and recently he claims he's going to sacrifice 2 million of his own people because of his greed and hate. And haven't heard how the Russians are responding to that, but I'm sure they're not interested in being sacrificed. Then nationally, we heard about the debate in Georgia between Reverend Warnock and Walker, Herschel Walker, the football player, and why someone would think that a football player translates into an elected official in the Senate. Well, it makes you wonder, really makes you wonder. Now, for those of you who want to call in, the number's on the screen, and 868-0351 is a good number to dial in and share this morning. Here in the state of Michigan, there was a debate between the sitting governor, Gretchen Whitmer, and the challenger. And the governor's polling numbers, if you follow the polling numbers, are still higher than the challenger, and rightly so. So we want you to take note of that. And I just heard some information that I want you to check. I talked with a representative in the Wayne County Clerk's office. The Wayne County Clerk would be Kathy Garrett. And that is, as it relates to your ballot, you can mark straight party, whatever it is. Say if you are a Democrat, you can mark as straight Democrat. And you can vote for someone in another party, such as Bivens. This gentleman's name is an African-American running for Congress, and he happens to be in another party, Republican Party. And they're saying that if you want African-American representation, he is the candidate that you can select. And I was curious as to find out whether or not you can mark straight Democratic and then vote for someone in a party that's not included in the straight Democratic or straight whatever you vote. And I just found that to be kind of interesting. The city clerk's office wasn't open, but I do intend to call that as well. We have someone on the line, Thabiti?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
This is James Ford, founder of the Obama Weekend.
All right.
And Real Talk News.
Happy Monday.
I like that article you did on the 50 things on Obama. It was a great article, brother. Just wanted to let you know I read it.
God bless you. And I just want to say that you and Theo, you mighty clean up there. You mighty clean. I don't know what to say. But anyway, I went to two affairs this weekend. One of them was church, and over 800 people there, maybe 1,000. Nothing was said about voting. Also, I went to another affair, which was one of the Million Man alumni meetings. And then we on the Million Man march was 27 years ago yesterday. So I just want to bring that to your attention.
October
But nothing was
16th.
said about voting, so people going to have to put their best foot forward. And I'm trying to get this information to you before you get your guest on. I just want to say that I've been attending the police meetings, and I got to say that the mayor's office and the police department, they got their hands full, and I kind of take my hat off to them because I've heard some things I just couldn't believe. They got their hands full as far as trying to stop some stuff going on. But I don't like to really talk unless it's necessary, but I got to speak for the young, the old, the black, the white, the red, everybody, even the unborn, because people are running these red lights in the city of Detroit. They're running them blatantly. You know, I think that people know that these lights are red. They're running them blatantly because they don't care. And that's what mode that they're in. But Detroit is not a third world country. It's not a third world city, I mean to say. We need traffic lights that take pictures, can maybe send citations to the officers so that they can send tickets to people. You know, I don't want to be professorial, but we need new traffic lights. They're archaic, they're outdated, and they're dysfunctional. And in 3 years, we won't need any traffic lights at all because the people that's getting licensed now, they'll think it's the thing to do. And I just want to bring this to TV, to concerns and everybody. We need also a law on the books. I don't know how they can do it, how they can orchestrate it. That says if you approach a red light, you run it, you kill somebody, that's first-degree murder. If you hurt somebody, that's manslaughter or whatever they want to say about it. But these blatant red lights have to be addressed. And, you know, I think that I've seen popsicle trucks, I've seen flatbeds, I've seen 16-wheelers go through red lights that are already red, and that's right on Harper and Van Dyke, and I go through there a lot. So I'm going to leave that with you. There will be some concerns about this. It's terrible, Theo. We are at stake. Everybody's life is on the line. You got people driving with kids in their car, pregnant women, everybody. And I'm not speaking for anybody but the whole community and the people at risk. We are at risk. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're
God bless
welcome.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for sharing that. Now, James mentioned going to the police commission meetings. You need to know that the police commission meets every Thursday, unless it's Thanksgiving, you know, which comes on a Thursday, or some other holiday. But Thanksgiving comes on Thursday, and that's a day that they don't meet. If perhaps we had Christmas on Thursday, obviously they would not meet. However, the police commission meets every Thursday with those exceptions. And if you're concerned about the time and the location, you need to call 224-1830. Again, the telephone number for the police commission is, that's not right. It's 596-1830. 596-1830. There are two major numbers for the city. One is 224, the other one is 596. And 596-1830 is the number for the police commission. And you can inquire as to whether or not the meeting is at 3 o'clock or if it's the one they have once a month where those who work a day shift will have an opportunity to attend the meeting at 6 in the evening. And again, that's 596-1830.
I want to kind of follow up on what Brother James said, because I have actually been in an accident. I won't say accident, but somebody hit me and ran, and I couldn't catch them because of the width of the street, and there was no way to turn around. But as he said, and it's absolutely true, there's just a blatant disregard for red lights, stop signs, yield signs. People just, whatever hurry they're in, they disregard their own safety and the safety of others. And one of the things that's tragic about it is that some of these people who commit these atrocities in terms of, or violations in terms of running stoplights, stop signs, etc., is that if they hit you, they keep going. They don't have insurance, and now, of course, we know insurance has been an issue, but they put themselves in that position. And I see this across the racial spectrum. I've seen, because I travel in a lot of different areas, so I'm seeing Arabs, Caucasians, African Americans, etc., who just don't really care. And I'll just end on this. I recall, and I was sharing this with a friend of mine I was riding with the other day, that I recall coming out Puritan one time, and the light was just obviously green for me to go. But something, I guess, in the universe told me to slow down, and I'm glad I did, because there was a car going through the red light at Greenfield in Puritan. Had I went out there, it would have broadsided me on the driver's side, and I probably wouldn't be sitting here. But something just told me to hesitate where we would normally go through a green light. So let me just tell everyone, even when you think you're safe, be cautious, because you don't know what the other driver's doing. And there used to be a sign back in the day. It says something to the extent, because they did have a lot of things that would just kind of warn drivers. It says, watch the other driver, or beware of when you're driving. I don't have the right terminology, but it was a cautionary sign to say that, even though you got the right of way, make sure it's the right way to go.
You're absolutely right. And I'm of the belief that the school should have driver's training again. As you may remember, decades ago, you were a student at Detroit Public School System, and you could take driver's training at school. And I think that it was a more intensive training and an opportunity for young people going into adulthood to understand the importance of learning the rules on the road. And that's one reason why I talk about civics all the time, because people have to learn their rights and responsibility and the rights and responsibility of the government. If they're going to live in any community with other people, they need to have that information.
And we can just see how they have actually just degraded the education that children are getting, taking out vocational programs. I think I heard that front doorbell ring. But yeah, they have taken these programs out of the school system. So some of the chaos that we're seeing in society now, I think, is a result of that, whether it's political chaos, not having the understanding of how three branches of government work, and then break it on down to the local level. But there's a lot of things that if you miss them, and it's not something that anyone encourages. And another thing I just want to say quickly, it was kind of disheartening when James Ford said that over 800 people were in the church and no mention of voting at all. I mean, that just really struck me.
I agree. As important as every election is, and this election in particular, because there is an effort across this nation to make it difficult to impossible for our people to vote.
And the minister, preacher, reverend, whoever he was, had a captive audience.
Exactly.
Somebody in that audience, even if it was only one person, would have at least got the message, and then maybe had the impetus to want to participate in the system. But if you don't mention it, nobody gets the message. And so I'm just putting a shout out, because we've got like 20 some odd days or so for the election. So those of you who have captive audiences, whether you're in fraternities, sororities, if you have a organization, grassroots or whatever it may be, if you've got a church, I think that you should at least mention it. If you don't know details, you don't have to have the details, but it will be good. But at least mention and let your listeners, your audience know that there's an election. Don't just let it go and start talking about something that is not as critical as being able to decide who's going to make the laws that you have to live by.
Exactly. And we can't see it often enough that the purpose for being responsible to place other responsible candidates into office is because those are the ones who come up with the laws, the policies that get followed, the ordinances that get put into place, the codes that get put on the books. And you want all of them to be beneficial for the members of the community and not anti-black folk, like what's happening across the nation with the laws that will just bind black people when it comes to voting.
And I just want to add a footnote to something you said earlier, Theo, about the debate between Warnock and Herschel Walker. It's kind of interesting because some of the, let's just say they want to call them liberals, let's just say some of the Democratic political action committees have actually shown commercials, which was interesting to me, where the lady said, I don't care if he, speaking of Herschel Walker, I don't care if he knows anything or not. I just want a Republican in that seat. I thought, I'll be doggone. At least she ain't lying, though.
Yeah, yeah. Because he would be a placeholder and someone who is a robotic mind. He just does what he's told. That's it.
It would be nice if he were intelligent enough to play dumb, but he ain't that smart to play dumb, get in and then vote with the Democrats, but he's not that spark. The spook who sat by the door, he is not.
Absolutely. Oh, goodness. You had your ballot with you?
Yes.
We can go over that.
Okay, we may want to mention the November 5th.
Oh,
thing.
yes, absolutely. You have a flag.
Okay, yes. November 5th, this is Saturday, November 5th, 2022, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at 11499 Connor Street, Building 2. We're going to have a Get Out to Vote final rally. This is presented by Hood Research Soaring High for Detroit. And it will be hosted by the Friends of Detroit City Airport. So again, let me give the information number that you can call as well. And if you don't have your pen and paper handy, we'll repeat this throughout our broadcast. But for more information, you can call 248-234-2371. I'll say it again. For more information, call 248-234-2371. It will be a fun-filled program. All candidates are invited. The community is invited, and you can meet on-air personalities. So again, this is Saturday, November 5th, from 3 to 6 p.m. at 11499 Connor Street, Building 2. And we hope that you'll be there because, as Theo says about cabin fever, you got to get out the house, and this is one of the opportunities to really get a chance to know what's going on. We're talking about voting, and we're talking about the future of our city.
And we're going to have a lot of fun that day. I'm expecting to have a comedian there, and we'll have some music there, and a raffle. What would Hood Research be without a raffle? You know, a silent auction, and just a lot of fun to be had by all, because there have been a number of people who have been calling and they're saying, well, when are we're going to have something? We want to come out and meet, you know. Hood Research, for those who may not know, has a conference call every Saturday between the hours of 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. We have those who come on at 3 and stay to 6. We have those who come on at 3 and leave at 3:45 because they have to go to the grocery store. We have those who come on at 4 o'clock and stay to 5. So whichever time slot fits your itinerary, just check it off and join us on Saturday. You know, we have a website, of course, Facebook page, and we encourage you to follow us on Twitter. We have, when you call the number for Hood Research, the conference call number and access code are on that voicemail. And the telephone number for Hood Research is 248-234-2371. Again, that's area code 248-234-2371. So November the 5th, what do they say? Save the date, November the 5th. Save the date.
Yes, we love to see you there. And one of the beautiful benefits of it is because you're in an environment where there are an exchange of ideas, because we don't really get that exposure. If we're just looking at, let's say, the major networks and particularly the news and talk shows, then we get whatever slanted view they may have. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you're in a community of people who, and we really appreciate, I have to say this just on my own, there have been many times I've been at meetings where people bring up an idea that no one had thought about. And that's one of the beautiful things about it. Somebody sat around and they got into the forum with us and they said, you know what, why hasn't anybody thought about this? And it becomes actually a great idea. So it's a beautiful place for an exchange of ideas. You don't have that same stale routine, reading off a teleprompter type of thing, and that's all you know. We encourage you, and I will repeat this a couple of times more during our broadcast.
Mm-hmm. And it's important for people to learn what is going on in their community, because, you know, sometimes you wake up and the street is blocked off and you're like, well, why is this sawhorse and I can't go down the street? Well, it could be because the streets are being swept, or the streets are being repaved, or there's a water pipe that bursts and the workmen have to get down underground into the system to repair it. But you need to learn what's going on right where you live. And, you know, according to Hood Research, voting strengthens your self-respect. So respect yourself and vote November the 8th, and follow us on Twitter.
Now, as we approach the bottom of the hour, it's time for us to take our break. And I want to give you all an opportunity, if you didn't have a pen and paper handy, to do so. We look forward to joining you on the other side of the break, and you can copy the call-in numbers and become a part of the conversation. Show us and share with us your ideas.
All right. And it's always good to have, as you say, pen and paper handy. And we'll be back momentarily.
It's time to do something more. Join the Detroit Police Department, either straight out of high school or make a bold career change. Officers start at $40,000, plus health insurance, paid vacation, retirement plans, and more. Apply online at joindetroitblue.org.
According to Hood Research, voting builds self-respect.
My vote don't count.
If that were true, Coleman Young would not have been Detroit's mayor for 20 years. Maynard Jackson would not have been Atlanta's mayor for 12. And if that were true, Barack Obama would not have been president of these United States.
So respect yourself and vote.
Vote November 8th. And remember, your vote counts.
It's the These Nuts Show with your host, Butter and friends. Butter here, magician escape artist, practicing for my show tonight. Come on in, have a seat.
Everybody settle, Butter, you're on in 5, 4, 3, 2.
In a few seconds, you gotta be enough to get out of this one. Twist a little turn, ta-da! It's showtime. It's your old friend Butter here. I may be a nut, but I know to wear my mask. Please welcome our first guest tonight, fitness guru, Wally Wallman.
Our Woody Woodman's here to tell you to wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds so you will stay healthy and strong like me.
Almond Cruz here, sliding in with the news. Distance is what we must do to stay away from the chew and other germs in the air that might be trying to get on you. Social distancing is a wonderful way to see friends. As long as you're 6 feet apart, you win.
Hey there, friends. I wouldn't miss this for the world. It's me, Pumpkin Spice, your healthy girl. Remember, it's important to use your kind hearts and follow the signs to stay healthy and safe at all times.
Chica Chiminsky here to say, don't forget the little ones that need you to lead the way. That's how we remember to wash our hands, mask, and social distance today.
Morgan Raisin. Yes, it's me, here to sing about health and safety. We are all here to help get a message out to your grapevine, teaching healthy choices to stay safe all the time.
Don't let these guys drive you nuts. Put your mask on first. They'll let you be. And it keeps me safe from the
chew
that's trying to get on me.
Butter me up. She's right, you know. Thank you, Hallie Cranberry, for joining the show. Let's all be nuts about our health. Social distancing, wash your hands frequently, use hand sanitizer, and wear a mask. Practice what we learned to stay away from the germs. We're all in this together. Coming soon, the mini adventures of these nuts in a theater near you.
This is Bruce Simpson, your City of Detroit ombudsman. I am here to address all of your complaints and concerns. If you need assistance regarding city services, please contact my office at 313-224-6000 or contact us via email at ombudsman@detroitmi.gov. This is Bruce Simpson, your City of Detroit ombudsman.
Feedback.
Hi, this is Theo Broughton.
And I am Thabiti Mpinda.
Inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for Feedback.
A positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
And take us along with you.
Feedback.
And we have returned. Here we are, Monday morning, bright and early. And we are so glad that you have tuned in to be with us. And know this for your information and for your friends and family, that you can download onto your phone by going to the App Store and looking for TV 33 on demand. And wherever you go, you can take us along with you. I like that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to, and I'll follow Theo's lead, get into the actual ballot, let you know some of the things. I guess we'll start with the proposals, because a lot of times people are not really familiar with proposals, what they mean. And I was telling Theo a few weeks ago about some lady who did a survey. This was like a national survey about how proposals are written, and sometimes they're written in a way that is meant to confuse, whereas, therefore, and as, this, that, and the other, and they don't make themselves clear just in what we would consider everyday colloquial conversation, which is very important. So we want you to be able to, as I read these proposals and Theo comments on them, to really get a better, deeper, basic understanding of them, because they try to confuse you. And if you've been looking at any of the ads on television, and how can you escape them? They're all over the place to the point of being annoying, that you really need to have a better idea. So first, these are all state proposals. Proposal 22-1, a proposal to amend the state constitution to require annual public financial disclosure reports by legislators and other state officers, and change state legislator terms limit to 12 total years in the legislature. This proposed constitutional amendment would, first, require members of legislature, governor, lieutenant governor, secretary of state, and attorney general file annual public financial disclosure reports after 2023, including assets, liabilities, income sources, future employment agreements, gifts, travel reimbursements, and positions held in organizations except religious, social, and political organizations. Second, require legislature implement but not limit or restrict reporting requirements. Third, replace current term limits for state representatives and state senators with a 12-year total limit in any combination between House and Senate, except a person elected to Senate in 2022 may be elected the number of times allowed when that person became a candidate, should this proposal be adopted.
Well, I think that since it talks about the voting that and the elected officials being transparent, that we need to have passed this. The PACs, there are super PACs that we know nothing about. But if the elected officials had to be transparent and report their finances, be it personal or campaign, then you could have a better view of whether they are being honest with us. So I personally would say vote yes for that one.
And I would add, and I'm not clear on the details, but I recall when Governor Engler was in office, after he left, he became either the head of or a member of a board of directors or manufacturers. And one of the things that occurs to me, particularly in light of this proposal, is that did he, it's maybe a little late now, but just a thought, did he, during his administration, do anything for the benefit of that particular organization before he ended up leaving office, or after he left office became a board member? Mm-hmm. Because there would definitely be impropriety there, and it's like it was a bellwether, as they say, to let you know that he already had something set up with them because he made legislation or signed legislation that helped them. So again, Theo says vote which?
Yes, on number one.
The public deserves to know.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
That's my personal view on it, on number one.
Okay, Proposal 22-2, a proposal to amend the state constitution to add provisions regarding elections. This proposed constitutional amendment would first recognize fundamental right to vote without harassing conduct. Second, require military or overseas ballots be counted if postmarked by Election Day. Third, provide voter right to verify identity with photo ID or signed statement. Fourth, provide voter of the right to single application to vote absentee in all elections. Fifth, require state-funded absentee ballot drop boxes and postage for absentee applications and ballots. Next, provide that only election officials may conduct post-election audits. Then, require 9 days of early in-person voting. Next, allow donations to fund elections which must be disclosed. And finally, require canvass boards certify election results based only on the official records of votes cast. Should this proposal be adopted?
No. Some of the things mentioned are already being done. However, the alarm goes off for me when I hear 9 days. 9 days. You only have 9 days before Election Day, and those 9 days are the only early voting days that you can take advantage of. When you start reducing the number of days that residents can vote, when we know that you can go right today and vote if you choose to, and this is far more than 9 days, okay? They give you this opportunity because then you don't have to be concerned about 100, 200, 300,000 people trying to jam into lines for 9 days. I don't think so. So to shorten the number of days is, in my opinion, a trick. We have more than 9 now, and it needs to be left just that way. So personally, I'm voting no.
And I just want to say that we have to kind of be aware that there is a lot of political manipulation and maneuvering with these things. And if we don't have a deeper insight as to what's going on, then we end up being a pawn on the chessboard, and you know the pawn is the first one to go. Now, we do have a caller.
Sure.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Silverado.
Happy Monday to you. What's going on in your world?
Oh, we had a good time at the Million Man
breakfast. You celebrated the anniversary of the Million Man March, huh?
Yeah, and all the men out there, they was cooking, and all the men were doing the cooking, and of course I helped out. I did the coffee, the lemonade, and I served.
Oh, that was
and
nice.
I danced and stayed right next to the DJ.
So you performed acts of kindness and had a good time, too.
Oh, yes, I did. I got pictures and videos.
Whose videos?
I got pictures and videos.
Oh, pictures and videos. Oh, look out, Facebook.
Yes. With the proposals, is it 1 yes, 2 no, and 3 yes?
Correct.
Oh, I just want to make sure because I just found out that Butso family started at 8 this morning, so I can do the early voting.
Okay. Adding another location, yes. Okay.
Yeah, Butso family on Kercheval near
Van Dyke.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
So I had to let the listeners know just in case they're close.
Oh, yeah, you're right about that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, I'll continue to listen, and I'll call in if I have any good news or news we need to view.
Okay, that sounds good. Sounds good.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Okay, now I will read, this is a state proposal, Proposal 22-3. A proposal to amend the state constitution to establish new individual right to reproductive freedom, including right to make all decisions about pregnancy and abortion, allow state to regulate abortion in some cases, and forbid prosecution of individuals exercising established right. This proposed constitutional amendment would first establish new individual right to reproductive freedom, including right to make and carry out all decisions about pregnancy, such as prenatal care, childbirth, postpartum care, contraception, sterilization, abortion, miscarriage management, and infertility. Second, allow state to regulate abortion after fetal viability, but not prohibit if medically needed to protect a patient's life or physical or mental health. Next, forbid state discrimination in enforcement of this right, prohibit prosecution of an individual or a person helping a pregnant individual for exercising rights established by this amendment. Finally, invalidate state laws conflicting with this amendment, should this proposal be adopted.
Well, with that particular proposal, the question that raises a red flag for me is when they talk about you will be forbidden to use contraceptives. Who ever heard of such a thing? Abortion and contraceptives are two separate things, and the contraceptives are to prevent a person from getting pregnant, then the other part of it, they're saying that women will continue to have the right and the power and the say-so over their own bodies. So for one, the biggest little trip up, has to do with you can't use contraceptives. It's totally unacceptable. So I'm voting no on number 3.
And what's interesting is the fact that men want to tell women what to do with their bodies, as if they would let someone tell them men would allow someone to tell them what to do with their bodies. There's no one saying that a man should mandatorily have a vasectomy or any other type of operation or anything. So if men, which I am, don't want to have anyone tell them what to do with their body, why would they even think for a moment? But then we have to go back to the whole patriarchy of this society. Caucasian men have always felt that they should be the ones who make the decisions for everyone else. Mm-hmm. And when we keep that in mind, they didn't even want their own women to vote, let alone if it wasn't for the suffragette movement, white women wouldn't be able to vote. So they've never wanted to allow anyone to make decisions but themselves. I mean, you could look at the signers of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. There were no women involved at all because they just did not respect their own women, let alone another race at all. Mm-hmm. So I think that this should be a galvanizing point where women in particular say, hey, look, we're not going to have you tell us what to do, tell us that we have to carry a baby to full term, and then you offer no support at all, make it hard for us to be a part of an agency. Mm-hmm. I've got to raise this child for the rest of their life, till they're 18, but if you have a child, that's your child for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. And especially when we're dealing with the idea of rape, incest, and the health of the mother. And they have no regard for, so if the mother has to die during childbirth, well, that's all right, because we made a law that says that she got to carry this child to full term no matter what, and all the other things that are involved in that. Mm-hmm. And as some of the commercials say, some crazed, violent maniac rapes a woman, and now she has to carry that child, don't know who the father is, and even with women who know who the father is, they may not be getting any child support or anything. Why make a woman go through that? Right. So, as far as I'm concerned, the government has no right to tell a woman what to do, and I won't support a government that does that.
And not only that, I have yet to hear them say, have that baby, and I'll provide food, I'll provide clothing, I'll provide shelter, I'll provide education, and I'll provide health care. If anybody out there has heard the government or the Republicans or anybody else step up to the plate and say, have the baby anyway, and I will take care of all of the financial needs, educational needs, and medical needs of that child, if you know of, have heard of, we want to know. We read people, we want to know. That's what they say about that commercial. Yes. We read people, we want to know. Yeah, because it's just crazy. And there's a section on the ballot, moving on, about the judges. And there's one section where there are 9 seats up, 9 judicial seats. But interestingly enough, there are only 9 people running. So if there are 9 people running for 9 seats, it's reasonable to assume that they will get into office if they only vote for themselves. No competition. There's one for 15 seats. 15 seats up. to be filled. 15 judges campaigning. So they are liable just to end up back in the seat they vacated.
Guaranteed job.
Mhm,
And that's for the judge of the circuit court, third circuit incumbent position. So there are 15 candidates and there are 15 seats. So as Theo has said, if they vote for themselves, all they need is one vote and they're in.
Mm-hmm. There's only one section where there are 5 seats and 6 people running. That's it.
And that's for the judge of the circuit court, third circuit, non-incumbent position. You have 6 candidates and 5 positions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you make your choice. 5 out of that 6. There's one person with name recognition, and we've been trying to confirm that he is the one who went to court to take his wife's last name for name recognition.
And that's Nicholas John Hathaway. The Hathaway name has been in the court system for a while, so he just decided that instead of where the wife takes the husband's name, he's taking the wife's name. Ain't that something?
Yes. So we wanted to point that out to you. And other than that, all the other questions are straightforward. Oh, now for those of you who are voting straight Democratic, you still have to vote for the Supreme Court candidates. And we'll get into that after we take the caller.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Hello. My name is Trinita.
Trinita, thank you for calling.
Thank you. What you asked me where am I calling from?
Yes.
How are you viewing us? Yes.
Oh, yes. Here I'm right around the corner. Really.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not too far.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you. I'm calling about the abortion thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they don't want to get an abortion, so they can have those kids to take from the mothers when it's time for the system to get out and start snatching kids to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't want these mothers to have an abortion, so they'll have children for the system.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You know, that's my idea. You know, that's my view.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to stop abortion, that they won't have any children to adopt.
Mm-hmm. You support Proposal 3 or?
I'm against the abortion thing.
Mm-hmm. Now, how do you feel about contraceptives?
I think that they should have contraceptives. They should offer contraceptives to the women. They should make the women get procedures done, like tube side and all that stuff.
Okay.
You know? So I think that if the women have to do that, then the men should be able to get their, like he was saying about the vasectomy. You know, so if it's up to the male, female, and the male to protect themselves as far as, you know, child having a child. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right. It was, I guess the old expression was good for the goose is good for the gander. If a woman has to do something, then a man should be in that same position where, because he's responsible as well if a woman gets pregnant.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Okay, and they should be responsible for it. As it is now, only the mother seems to be responsible. The government is want to tell her what to do, but the government is not saying I'll take care of the child when the child comes. Not at all, you know. And
Yes,
that's a problem with that.
That would be the foster care system. When the TCS, whatever you call them, come to snatch your kids. That's what the housing goes, and that's what they say for the benefit of the child. So that's the benefit of the child at all.
Well, we do have a lot to consider with Proposal 3. And the sad part is, in Proposal 3, they're saying that you cannot use contraceptives, which has nothing to do with abortion. And they're also not taking many other things into consideration.
Yes.
And that's a reason why we encourage everyone to vote and why we're reading the ballot, because a lot of times when you get in that booth, particularly if you're not familiar with proposals, what they mean, then it becomes harder to even make a decision. Some people will leave it unmarked and just go for candidates, but we need everyone to be informed so that way they are aware of what's going on and how it's going to affect them, because that's the bottom line. It's going to affect you one way or the other.
Yes. And I'm kind of ready to see that this morning because you just happen to be on this with the TV on, but good morning.
Yes.
But what I was saying about the proposals, I'm glad that I talked to you because I was confused about the proposals. I'm always confused about those. And I have been hearing how they state them another way in order to confuse you about them. So, and then she said vote for the Supreme Court. I'm glad she said that because I need to leave that in. I don't know what to do with that.
I understand. Wow. Well, we are at the top of the hour, and we have to have a break. If you want to stay on, you can, or if you want to call back, you can. But we have to go for a station identification break.
Okay.
Or as they say, a pause for the cause. And you are tuned into Feedback, a positive image production by Hood Research. And we will be back momentarily.
It's the These Nuts Show with your host, Butter and friends. Butter here, magician escape artist, practicing for my show tonight. Come on in, have a seat.
All right, everybody settle. Butter, you're on in 5, 4, 3, 2.
In a few seconds, there gotta be enough to get out of this one. Twist a little turn, ta-da! It's showtime! It's your old friend Butter here. I may be a nut, but I know to wear my mask. Please welcome my first guest tonight, fitness guru, Wally Wallnut.
Wally Wallnut here to tell you to wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds so you will stay healthy and strong like me.
Almond Cruz here, sliding in with the news. Distance is what we must do to stay away from the chew and other germs in the air that might be trying to get on you. Social distancing is a wonderful way to see friends. As long as you're 6 feet apart, you win.
Hey there, friends. I wouldn't miss this for the world. It's me, Pumpkin Spice, your healthy girl. Remember, it's important to use your kind hearts and follow the signs to stay healthy and safe at all times.
Chica Chiminsky here to say, don't forget the little ones that need you to lead the way. That's how we remember to wash our hands, mask, and social distance today.
Morgan Raisin. Yes, it's me, here to sing about health and safety. We are all here to help get a message out to your grapevine, teaching healthy choices to stay safe all the time.
Don't let these guys drive you nuts. Put your mask on first. They'll let you be. And it keeps me safe from the...
chew!
That's trying to get on me.
Butter me up. She's right, you know. Thank you, Hallie Cranberry, for joining the show. Let's all be nuts about our health. Social distancing, wash your hands frequently, use hand sanitizer, and wear a mask. practice what we learn to stay away from the germs. We're all in this together. Coming soon, the many adventures of these nuts in a theater near you.
According to Hood research, voting builds self-respect.
My vote don't count.
If that were true, Coleman Young would not have been Detroit's mayor for 20 years. Maynard Jackson would not have been Atlanta's mayor for 12. And if that were true, Barack Obama would not have been president of these United States.
So respect yourself and vote.
Vote November 8th. And remember, your vote counts.
You ready to put your podcast on iHeartRadio? Yes, your podcast on iHeartRadio. What about Alexa, Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV, Android, or iPhone? Plus live TV streaming. Get your podcast seen and heard all over the world. Call 313-868-6612. Pre-recorded shows are accepted to be archived. This is a WHPR distribution platform. Download the app from the App Store. Go to WHPRTV.com. Channels available for lease 24/7 on Roku, Fire Stick, or Apple TV. Coming soon, subscription and pay-per-view.
Also,
Block time is available. Get yours. Call 313-868-6612. That's 313-868-6612. Executive producer R.J. Watkins. Program director Henry Tyler. 107.5 FM WGPR HD2. RadioWeCanSee.com.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri. We are living through unprecedented times with a global pandemic now approaching its third year. As a result, the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund was created. This fund, administered by the state of Michigan, is designed to help homeowners cope with pandemic-related hardships, such as delinquent property taxes. To see if you qualify, please visit. Call 313-388-9799 or email taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Is arthritis, rheumatism, inflammation holding you back? Even ladies' menstrual cycle pain? Order Hurt No More. It's all natural and it works fast. Go to 86pain.com.
You know, I played in the NFL back in the 60s. We could have used Hurt No More after every game. I could have used something to relieve my pain.
If you've got pain, I've got the answer. Hurt No More. Wherever the pain is, it'll grab it fast.
86 to Pain. Go to 86pain.com.
Justice for Mario Willis. Truth. Facts. Evidence. Matter. Log into justiceformariowillis.com. Read for yourself.
Have you ever wanted your own TV show? Have you dreamed of showcasing your talent for the world to see? Well, now you can. Have your own TV show. You can have your own 30-minute show. Not only will you be seen in the Detroit area, but you can be viewed worldwide. For more information, call 313-868-6612. Visit our studios and receive a free TV interview to promote your business, church, or organization by appointment only.
All media platforms are engaged. Copy.
Get ready to launch your show or product.
Periscope ready. We're 5x5 ready to launch. Copy that.
Trend worldwide across all major platforms.
Ignition. 3, 2, 1.
The world is waiting. Watkins Broadcasting. More than just TV. You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
WGPR Detroit, HD2.
Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton.
And I am Thabiti Mpinga.
Inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for Feedback.
A positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
And take us along with you. Feedback. Are you still with us?
Yes,
Thank you for staying with us. I just wanted us to be a little clear about for transportation. They tell them they only want them to pay 0.099. That's 10 cents per thousand. 0.099, and that's for the transportation, which basically is smart. In Detroit, we have 3 proposals. The first proposal I'm voting yes for because it makes the elected officials more transparent. So, and transparency is what we need. I'm voting no on the second proposal because in the second one, they're saying we should only have 9 days of early voting. And that defeats the purpose of getting people out to vote. And then on number 3, I'm voting yes on that because we don't want to take away a woman's right to choose for what to do with her body. And also, we don't want to have contraceptives eliminated. I'm sorry, go ahead. Yes on 1 and 3 and no on 2. And you were going to say what, ma'am?
For saying that voting has changed like that. I vote absentee. And they want you to send that ballot in. And you don't see anybody now until vote day. Then you get all this junk mail. Before we were putting all the junk mail on who to vote for and all that. Now we don't get that. They're not until we don't see anything on TV anymore much until vote day. Here come all these people out the woodwork.
Right. Yeah. And that's a good point that you make. And our elected officials should come into the community, as we say, off season as well. So, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have another caller coming in. And then if you want to call back, feel free to call back. Okay.
Thank you. I enjoyed the conversation.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name, how you're viewing us, please?
I'm viewing you on my tablet.
Oh, okay.
HPR TV 33.
Oh, all right. And you want to share with us?
Yes. I heard some disturbing news yesterday morning that they are reconstructing little girls as young as 11 years old, and they're transforming them to boys. Once that surgery has been done, they cannot reverse it. So I'm saying that to say this. With this LGBTQ team having so much influence and power over many, any day now they likely to start legislating that pedophiles will be legal.
What?
I'm saying this to say that as long as they are already taking children that young and turning little girls into boys, just think about it. Theo, in the future, they may very legalize pedophiles.
Boy, I had to think about
because
that.
Because that's an upside down, inside out situation that you would take little children that young and start influencing to be able to change. And not only is that playing God with body parts, but just think about the mental, the psychological trickery that comes with it.
Right.
And unfortunately, the suicide rate is so high now, particularly with the LGBTQ community. It's also high with the police, but we're dealing with this LGBTQ. It's high because they're struggling with identity. Who am I? What do I want to be? And as you say, Sly, so if you're talking about 11 years old, now that's just insane. But when you speak about legalizing pedophilia, when I think back to the Greek and Roman days, it was normal for them. You know, it wasn't normal in African and other indigenous or Aboriginal communities, but among Europeans, it was a normal thing. For matter of fact, I think in one of Plato's books, he said, "There's nothing so beautiful as a young boy," or something like that. And he actually wrote that. So we're dealing with the patriarchy of the American Caucasian male who thinks he knows better than anybody else how everything on the planet should be run. It's sad, but that's why we vote, to fight all that.
Exactly. Definitely just keep your eyes, ears, and be very watchful on where this is all going.
Right.
Because they also lowered the age of the children where, you know, and we know that other cultures marry children. So you can imagine the psychological nightmares that these babies are going through, being made to marry grown, old men.
Yeah.
So if that's legal, who's to say that pedophilia is next on the list to be legalized? So that's why I'm saying be watchful of where this is happening. And yes, your vote, you got to be watchful and know how to save our babies.
Wow, that's a hard pill to swallow, as they say.
It's very disturbing.
It really, yeah. And that also says to me that parents and grandparents and those who are guardians of children need to monitor what is going on at the school system. Because if you have a child that's being indoctrinated into that kind of a lifestyle, as they go to school, they may be sharing that kind of information with their classmates as well.
And I'll just say this, one of my granddaughters, she's in the 9th grade now, but I believe when she was either in the 7th or 8th grade, she did mention to me, which means they were the children in her class or just like in her grade, because there were 2 8th grade classes, were into saying that they were like either bi or they were considering transgender moves. And I'm glad, you know, my granddaughter raised that to me and she felt comfortable enough to say it, you know, because I never try to come off as judgmental, just more as an ear. But just as Sly Soul was saying, for them to start affecting children at that young age and grooming them for a lifestyle, you know, because they're confused. This is when you come into adolescence, puberty, and that kind of thing. And it seems like, and I agree with you, Sly, so they're kind of grooming it. And if you open the door to this, what other doors are going to swing open later on? Because it becomes a process. If this is legitimized, then other thing will be legitimized, and you can use whatever the prior situation was to justify what you want to be current. So we have to be on top of this all the time.
Exactly, because what they're starting to do is normalize it. And so they attack our very young, and they're attacking our seniors as well psychologically to get what they want, no matter how out of the box it is. So we definitely have to teach people to guard their minds and bodies, because you got the few that's out here prospering off of all of this. And then we got to keep a watch on the trafficking, the human trafficking that's going on.
That's true. And also, you know, that is another reason why the residents should attend the police commission meetings. And I mentioned earlier that every Thursday the police commission meets, and you need to call 596-1830 to find out where they're meeting. For the majority of the time, they're at the main headquarters, which is on Michigan Avenue and 3rd. But they do come out in the community, and in some of the places where they move around is to make it more convenient for the residents in the city. That is the reason for them to try to move around sometimes. They also, once a month, have an evening meeting so that it's convenient for those who work days and would like to have an opportunity to attend, that they, on that particular day, they can come out when it's in the evening, a 6 o'clock meeting. But again, if you call 596-1830, you can find out and verify the location and time of the police commission meetings. You also have an opportunity to speak at those meetings. So if you're concerned about people running red lights with no disregard for their safety or anybody else's safety, you may want to talk about that at the meeting. If you have information about sex trafficking or body parts being taken from people and relocated, etc., and you want to share that, you don't even have to talk about it out loud. You can speak to an officer there over to the side, okay? But the police commission meets every Thursday unless it's Thanksgiving or Christmas happens to fall on a Thursday. Other than that, they meet every single Thursday year-round. Call 313-596-1830 for confirmation. That's all you have to do.
Right, and as horrible as abortion sounds, but what is even more a nightmare is when these children come here and what they're abused and abused for is just as frightening.
Mm-hmm.
And you make me think of something when you say that, because if a woman were forced to bear a child she did not want, that means that child from day one is not going to be loved, particularly if that child came as a result of rape or incest. Then the mother will have, I'm not going to say that, of course it's not true all across the board, but if a woman has to go through the full-term pregnancy and have a child, not know who the father is, you don't know what the medical history of that person is, what their genetics are, heredity in terms of high blood pressure or any other medical issues that come down generationally, that woman may be bearing a child that has autism, Asperger's syndrome, you name it. So there's too many different things that can happen if you force that woman to have that child, and it's just unconscionable, really.
And abuse can come to the child as well.
The stresses that mother going through falls on the child too.
Right. Or abuse to the child, So there's a lot to think about and decide about when you're in that situation. But to say that contraceptives will be banned, that has nothing to do with abortion.
I think it has all to do with population control. Bring the children in so they can control them and put them in these industries like prisons, put them under the knife of Dr. Frankenstein, who's taking their organs and using them for experimental purposes.
That's right. You're right. You're right. All of those
we got
things.
Evil is and evil does.
Yeah, and we do have a lot of that, and we have to be conscious of it as well. You're going to say.
And the procreation rate of Caucasians, many, don't follow those kind of stats or anything, but they're almost at a parity. In other words, one is born, one dies. They are, as and I think globally as well, they are a minority on the planet.
Right.
So they are trying to, and then with all this right-wing rhetoric and evil, actually, they're trying to push an agenda to keep Caucasian women from actually having abortions because they want to sustain the population that they have. And in light of that, they want to diminish our population, which is why we end up on the wrong end of the bullet when it comes to police. This is a form, because as Theo has said, and I couldn't agree more, that when David Duke was no longer the Grand Dragon of the KKK, he was telling his boys, hey, look, we got to get into law enforcement and other ways where we can control the population of these people. And as you said, and I have no doubt about it, that part of the initiation may be to kill particularly black men, because we continue to, increase our population when we, have, relationships with our women. So if you eliminate the black men, you eliminate the potential of a black woman bearing a child, which again increases our population. And the last thing I want to say, because I just heard the statistic, we become the second minority in the country now. We're still hovering around 13-14%, and it was said that the Hispanic population is around 17%. So we're no longer number 2 as if there should be numbers. We're number 3 now. So that means even many of our things that we would like to accomplish, we don't have the same block that we used to have before, or the power.
I do hear that. Every 10 years, I hear the same thing, that the black community is either 13 or 14%. Every 10 years. And number one, I don't believe it. Number two, I don't believe it because when you have the census rallies going on, there are many black people who do not fill out the census.
Absolutely.
And here in the city of Detroit, we're hearing that there either has been or is ongoing challenge to the numbers, and saying that they missed about 20%. Now, if other communities, they are missing 20%, then we are not moved out of that second position.
True.
But it sounds good to say, oh, well, they don't have the numbers anymore, so don't worry about them. We need to concentrate on brainwashing the Hispanics that are coming into this country.
Exactly. And don't forget that Claude Anderson had already foresaw that they were going to make us less all the time. We always on the less end.
Yeah, he did always talk about that.
Okay, just for the sake of keeping our listeners and viewers informed, I want to mention again that Hood Research presents Soaring High for Detroit. Get Out to Vote Final Rally. This is being hosted by the Friends of Detroit City Airport. It will be Saturday, November 5th of this year, of course, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at 11499 Connor Street, Building 2. If you want more information, you can call area code 248-234-2371. Again, that's area code 248-234-2371. It will be a fun-filled program. You can meet on-air personalities. All candidates are invited, and of course the community is invited. Saturday, November 5th, from 3 to 6 p.m., 11499 Connor Street, Building 2.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Are you going to have spoken word?
Are we going to have what?
Spoken word.
Spoken word.
Absolutely. Yeah, and a comedian and some music. We want to make it enjoyable, as you get up there and dance for us. But we want it to be an interactive event. Oh, and we're going to have a contest, too. We have a raffle. What would Hood Research be without a raffle? We'll have a silent auction, and there will be a big prize for the contest that we're going to have. So I think folks need to, get out their little duds and come on. And if you got an issue with cabin fever, hey, this will set you straight. And we're going to be at building 2. That's where the Tuskegee Airmen building is. What did you say?
Yeah, we can get out of lockdown.
Off lockdown.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And here's another little thing I'll add. There's 4 statues in front of the that you can actually take a picture of yourself. Do a selfie in front of that as well, because I've done it.
Right. But by outside of Building 2.
Right.
Beautiful statue. Beautiful. Oh, and by the way, the Benjamin Davis Aerospace School has been reported to be reopened. Now, I didn't get an exact date that they expect to reopen it, but that's something that should have happened. They never should have closed it, first of all.
Never should have closed.
The Lieutenant Colonel Lawrence Milben, who comes on as a guest with us from time to time, said before the COVID pandemic that in this country, over the next 10 years, we will need 1 million airline pilots. 1 million airline pilots.
And some of the airlines
and they closed
now,
the school.
I think Delta is one, but there's a couple of other. They're actually starting programs themselves because they realize that they don't have enough pilots to be able to do it. So this is a big move for the Benjamin O. Davis for us to be able to train pilots here in this city.
Right. And it was very successful. Very successful.
There's a certain thrill, and that's why our children need to be exposed to these type of things. There's just this thrill. I mean, I was out by the airport the other day. Actually, it was yesterday. I had to go meet somebody, and I just looked at one of those large 727s coming in for a landing. It's a beautiful sight. I'm thinking, all this steel and aluminum, and it's just flying through the air so carefree. We need some of our youth, and the pay is good, but there's so many perks to it. But it's a stable job. There's a few stable jobs in this industry that robots are now taking over more or less. But IT is one, and definitely pilots is one. Matter of fact, I'll say the construction trades too. And I want to say this quickly. For those of you who may still want to apply for a absentee ballot, you can go to applymi.org. That's applymi.org to apply for an absentee ballot. But when you get your ballot, as I have mine here now, make sure you put it in a drop box. Don't put it in the mail. We don't want to take a chance.
And sign the envelope when you insert your ballot. Don't forget to sign the envelope when you insert your ballot. Don't forget to sign the envelope when you put your ballot inside.
And I'm holding the envelope up now. You'll see that it's a red rectangular box. That's where you sign. You have to sign that in order for it to be validated.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, for those who may not have access to a computer, you can call the city clerk's office for a request form. They call it an application. A request form, if you want an absentee ballot, that's a 313 number, 876-0190. 313-876-0190. That's the city clerk. And when they answer, you get a little menu, push here, and there's a menu to push for absentee ballot. When the clerk answers the phone, tell her you want an absentee ballot. She will then check you on the books and you confirm your address, and they should mail it out. But don't forget, when you finish your ballot and put it in that envelope, you must sign the envelope.
And you see I have here my sticker that says, I voted, did you? I hope all of you get that sticker, vote, and then we're probably letting everybody know that you participated in the political system.
And that you could come. You know, it's interesting, all that we need in our community, and so much of it can be addressed by the elected officials that we put in. But you must be concerned about putting in those elected officials, those candidates who are running, who would be good for this community.
And keep this in mind now, they govern our actions. They govern how we move, what we do. We should be concerned about them like we should be concerned about teachers who teach our children and anyone who has a say-so in our life who's in a position, supposedly a trusted position, but we can't trust politicians, all of them, as you know. So when we have people in these positions, we have to make sure that they understand what we need. But if we don't speak with our ballot and attend certain meetings and certain things, we're not going to know. We're just going to, whatever happens, whichever way the wind blows. That's not how we function in a political system.
But now lastly, in this part of our program, we got to bring up the school board. The school board, there are 4 seats that are up for filling. 4 seats. And we have 18 people campaigning for those 4 seats. 18 people for 4 seats. If you are concerned about board members having their children in the public school system, then you need to know that out of the 18, there are 2 who have children in the system. 2. We're inviting the candidates who are running for the school board to come on the 5th of November so that they have an opportunity to share their concerns, their platform, etc., and to let us know what they intend to do if they were to get elected.
It's very critical because as I said, when we deal with politicians, we're also dealing with people who will make decisions for our children, what schools will be open, how the curriculum is guided and such. We're down to our last minute, so we're going to do a wrap-up here.
Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in this morning to Feedback, a positive image production by Hood Research. I want you to know that we have contact information, and hopefully you have your pen and paper handy, and that is hoodresearch.org. Contact at hoodresearch.org. Hoodresearch.org is the website. Contact at hoodresearch.org is the email. And the telephone number is area code 248-234-2371. Again, area code 248-234-2371. That's to phone us. Know that we have a Facebook page, and you go to Facebook and you put in Hood Research, and we're there for you. And also, we have Twitter, and we ask you to follow us on Twitter. So I say at the end of our program, it's not necessary for you to know everything. What is necessary is for you to know how to find what you need when you need it. We at Hood Research seek out as much information as we can to share with you and encourage you to share it with us. That helps us all make better informed decisions, Thabiti.
Yes, and I'd like to thank James Ford, Sly Soul, and our first-time caller, Latricia, for calling in. We appreciate you. She was surfing, and she happened to find us, and that was a beautiful thing because it was something she needed to know about ballots. And as I always say at the end of every show, if you want to be nothing, do nothing. But the only problem with doing nothing is you never know when you're finished.
Yes. All right.
Join us next week.
Uh-huh.
Yes, next week.
Right.
Peace.
Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton.
And I am Thabiti Mpinda.
Inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for Feedback,
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
And take us along with you.
Feedback.